Tameka, you're probably like the executive director of the Pennsylvania Human Relations
Oh,
Commission right
please
now,
don't
aren't
say that. No, don't say
you?
that. Please do not say that.
We are live. I said it right when we went live.
Not,
Good morning, everyone.
I'm
I want
just
to
a lowly mid-level manager.
welcome you all this Monday morning to uh, the Reading 365. I'm Floyd Stokes, and I'm joined by Tameka Hatcher and David Botero. They're going to be sharing stories with you this morning, and we're really excited about the stories that they have to share with you. Tameka Hatcher is with the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission, and she's also a member of the AKA, and she does so many other things in the community. We appreciate all the work that she does for youth and just the community in general. And we just thank you for being here. And we'll talk a little bit more about David when it's his time to read. But thank you, Tameka. We look forward to the story that you have to share with us this morning.
Thank you, Floyd. And good morning, listeners. I'm going to be sharing one of my favorite African fables. It's called The Daughter of the Sun and the Moon. And this comes from an anthology called African American Children's Stories that I've had probably for forever, since I was a kid. It's still in my library at my mom's house. And a little while ago, I jacked it from her house and kept it because it's a treasured keepsake of mine. So here we are with The Daughter of the Sun and the Moon. Long ago, there lived a handsome young man who was the son of a chieftain. The young man's name was Kiatumba Ndala. All of the women in the village watched Kia with smiles and bright eyes. He was the most adored bachelor around. Soon the time came for Kia to choose a bride. However, he wanted only to marry the daughter of the sun and the moon, not a woman of the earth, as everyone expected. Kia's father, Kimanaweze, thought his son's wish to marry the daughter of the sun and the moon was silly. How will you get all the way up to heaven to propose to her? Said Kimanaweze. But Kia stuck with his wish, answering, "We'll see, but I'm not marrying anyone else." As word spread about Kia's wish, the villagers began to think maybe he was under a strange spell. But Kia was so determined that he wrote a marriage proposal asking Lord Sun for his daughter's hand. The problem was, how would he get it to heaven when he could not get up there himself? Kia went to Antelope and asked if she could deliver it, but she said it was too far. Kia asked Hawk and then Vulture, but despite both of them having wings, they turned Kia down. Hawk and Vulture said that they could only make it half of the way to heaven. Frog overheard Kia's request and offered to take the letter to heaven. Kia could not see how Frog would be able to do it, but he gave him the letter anyway. What Kia did not know was that Frog lived near the well from which Lord Sun and Lady Moon's helpers fetched water every day when they came down from heaven. Frog planned to stow away in their buckets and ride up to heaven and back without ever being noticed. As planned, Frog made it to heaven hidden in a water bucket. When the time was right, he jumped out of the bucket, put Kia's letter on the kitchen table, and went back to hide. Soon, Lord Sun came in for some water and saw the letter. He read it and was intrigued by the mysterious message. Frog returned to Earth the same way he had left. He immediately went to tell Kia the good news. "If you delivered it, then where is the reply?" Kia asked. "I don't know," said Frog, "but I do know that Lord Sun read it. If you write another letter asking for an answer, I will again deliver it." So Kia did, and Frog went back to heaven in the same way and left the letter on the table. Lord Sun read Kia's letter and wrote back. Lord Sun said he would approve the marriage only if Kia came in person and brought a gift. That's so important. Kia was overjoyed when Frog returned with this reply. But the problem was, again, how would Kia get it to heaven? Kia gave Frog a gift of gold coins to bring to Lord Sun, and Frog went to deliver the gift in his usual way. After Frog arrived, he waited until everyone was asleep, then tiptoed into the daughter's room. Frog brought with him a magic needle and thread. He gently sewed the daughter's eyes shut. It was magical, so the daughter felt no pain. When the daughter awoke and could not open her eyes, her worried parents sent messengers down to Earth to ask Dr. Gumbo for advice. Frog got back to Earth first by way of the helper's bucket, and he raced over to the doctor's hut as fast as he could. Luckily, the doctor had stepped away. So when Lord Sun and Lady Moon's messengers arrived, Frog hid behind the door and pretended to be the doctor. Frog told the messengers to send the daughter to Earth for treatment at once. The messengers did as they were told. When the daughter arrived, Frog snipped the magical thread away, and she could see perfectly. He then took her to Kia's hut. When they met, Kia and the daughter fell in love instantly. Frog, who did not like to be thanked, quickly hopped away. The lovers got married and everyone was happy. The end. And that is the story of The Daughter of the Sun and the Moon. Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Fantastic job. Love the story. Next, we're gonna talk about the story a little bit after, but next we're going to have David Botero. He's going to share a story with us. Want to welcome David to the reading this morning. David has read to us a couple of times already, and he always brings something very interesting. So we look forward to it. And of course, Tameka and David have been a part of our reading program in the schools, and we appreciate them both for giving them their time to read to the kids in person. So thank you, David, and welcome to Reading 365 this beautiful Monday morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Floyd. Thank you, Tameka. That was beautiful. And when we do come back, I wanted to catch the author of that. My wife and I, she's listening as well. We're interested in that story. Thank you. Well, I did, if it's okay, Floyd, want to give a quick shout out to some friends. I had friends that were emailing and texting from all throughout the country that have tuned in to watch today. So we have Sophia in Corning, New York. Hi, Sophia. We have Judy May in Harrisburg. Joshi, Brooklyn, New York. That's my nephew. He's on with his family, and I think and little Baron in Wilmington, Delaware. Baron, what's up, Baron? Wow. Yeah, so they're all tuned in.
Beautiful, awesome.
Well, how many people want to be the best version of themselves? And that's what we'll be talking about today. I have a book called I Promise, and it's by a not so famous author, but a very, very famous champion basketball star called LeBron James. And we will learn that success starts with you, and that together we can strive for greatness in everything that we do. Cool thing about this book, friends, as we're reading through it, keep an eye out for one of my favorite parts, is all the multiculturalism. So that's a big word. What's multiculturalism? It means we're going to see a lot of different cultures represented. We'll see boys, girls, Black, white, Asian, Indian, Muslim, and Latino faces all throughout this book. It's also illustrated by Nina Mata, which is always fun to know who the illustrator is. So it's called I Promise by LeBron James. I promise to work hard and do what's right to be a leader in this game of life. Here are the kids jumping on, we're getting ready to go to school. And at the end of this book, we're going to all promise something to our parents and teachers. I promise to go to school and read as much as I can, to follow the rules and respect the game plan. LeBron James, all about the game plan. I promise to run a full court and show up each time to get right back up and let my magic shine. I promise to be open to new things. Anybody scared to jump off of a high diving board? There we go. And enjoy the happy that change can bring. Look at that. I promise to wear a big smile and use kindness when I speak. So let me stop on this image right here. There's two things. This young basketball player is rocking number 8. Shout out, rest in power, Kobe Bryant, right? And she actually looks like my niece, Daylise, who is an all-star basketball player. And she's about the same size with the same hair, and that ball's about the same size. She's a baller. So to remain strong yet humble with every win and defeat, they are all high-fiving, shaking hands. Whether they won or they lost, they have sportsmanship. I promise to ask for help whenever I need it. To reach for my star even when I can't see it. That's a big brother giving his little sister a hard time, giving her a noogie. I promise to ask questions, to find answers, to believe in next time and second chances. Love this image. Look at this illustration. I promise to use my voice and stand up for what's right. And when things get tough, to keep up the fight. Look at these kids. They're using their voice to stand up for what is right. Love it. And again, all the multicultural, all where these kids come from. I promise to respect my elders and peers the same, to leave new places better than I came. I promise to stay true, keep my head up and never give up, no matter what. I promise to dream big, to love bigger, to be a team player and a winner. Love this picture here. How nice is that to get out and just go bike riding and on your scooter with friends. I promise to cross bridges and break down walls, to rise with the sun and learn from the falls. I promise to be courageous, to be free, to strive for greatness. That's a good quote coming from a great champion basketball player and athlete. I promise to be me. Hey friends, before we go, and for the parents, LeBron James Foundation that you might want to check out, he has a promise. I'm asking everyone to put their hands up and make this promise with me. I promise to go to school, to do all of my homework, to listen to my teachers because they will help me learn. I promise to ask questions and find answers, to never give up no matter what. I promise to always try my best, to be helpful and respectful to others, to live a healthy life by eating right and being active. I promise to make good choices for myself, to have fun, and above all, I promise to finish school, hashtag strive for greatness. Here's the I promise pledge for everyone. Cool, fun book from our friend LeBron James. Thank you to the Frederickson Library where we borrowed this from. Thank you for the opportunity, Floyd. These promises, kids, they're very important.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dave. And Tameka, you're going to join us. There you go. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Two beautiful stories. And Tameka, your book, you want to share with us like the moral of the story
Sure.
from your point of view, please?
So the moral of this story, this is an African fable. And if you know anything about African fables or parables, they always have some kind of power dynamic between earth and the heavens, and God and the sun and the moon and that kind of thing. And it's just a way of dealing with us as mere mortals, but also our ability and our desire to want to be greater than we are. And so the folklore of it, it's just fairy tales coming from a different culture, pretty much what it is. It's a once upon a time story, and it's a classic love tale, love story of a princess and a prince. And it just so happens that this particular prince wants to get married to the daughter of the sun and the moon. So how ambitious is that? So David asked, what was the title of the book and where did it come from? It's called African American Children's Stories, a treasury of tradition and pride. And it looks like this is, I mean, it's such an old book. It's one of those, it's copyrighted 2002. And the cover is illustrated by an author by the name of Angela Jarecki, Jarecki, and it is published by Publications International Limited. So that's pretty much all it says, just Publications International Limited, and it's an anthology of African fables.
Well, hopefully we could have you back to share another story from that
There are many.
wonderful,
like
wonderful
a
anthology.
whole.
Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful. And David, the I promise, that's a simple message, but certainly, a powerful message. The one that I like is the one where it ends. I promise to be me, and kind of like what you alluded to earlier, the best version of yourself, right?
Yeah, and it's a simple promise. It has lots of promises, but they're all good, true promises that we should make to our teachers, to the adults that we respect, to our parents especially. And the biggest thing is to make a promise to yourself. Promise to be a good student, promise to be a good friend, promise to be respectful. And the number one promise and the last promise, he says, promise to stick it out, even if you fail, to learn from that failure. And he says, stay in school. That's his number one thing, is promise to stay in school. And it's such a beautiful, we don't have to be reminded of how precious our relationships are with our children. And he's know how important that promise is. So right. I gravitated to this book when I was looking for new books for this week. And I had heard he wrote a book. So the LeBron James Foundation, he started a school in Akron, Ohio. And this is one of the books that is given to the kids and to the and to the parents as well. Beautiful thing with LeBron James. He's more than a basketball player. We all know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that I promise is a pledge that the students at the school take and that they say on a daily basis. And so it's something that is reinforced with the children. And so it gets into their spirit and it becomes a part of their personal ethos and their culture. It's the culture of the school. I promise. And what a great, I mean, I can't think of a better way for an individual from a town to use his resources to give back, to provide for kids all the resources that he wishes that he would have had as a student. And despite the fact that he didn't have those things, he still was able to get to where he is now today. So how much more better position will these kids be as a result of LeBron James and his gift? And Dave is absolutely right. It's so much more than and so much bigger than basketball. And one of the things that make his legacy the greatest.
Can I tie it back to something you said, Tameka?
I agree.
I participated in, it's called Bakija Dance. Did it yesterday. It is from Uganda. And a friend of mine runs a program that gives schooling and teachings to children, kindergarten to 4th grade in Uganda, called Rukundo International. And they had their fundraiser this weekend. And then she sent me some videos based on what I saw. So we did kind of an Afro spiritual dance, 900 calorie burning, 30-minute dance thing that we did this weekend. It was amazing. So it's called Bakija, Bakija, Bakija dance.
Can you give us a demo of that?
No. No. It's a lot of jumping. It's just a lot of jumping. And for those of you that know and that are tuned in, and Tameka and Floyd know, I'm an old school hip hop head, and I'm seeing that dance and I'm like, oh, I know where they got that from. So there was a lot of that for real.
Yeah.
Very
soulful. I want to go back. I want to go back to. We need to get together, Dave, and show me a couple of moves, right? I want to go back to Tameka though. And, Tameka and the AKs, they do a lot for the community. I wanted to maybe have you talk about, some of the things that you've done and, what motivates you to give back.
Oh, well, I give back because people gave back to me and sewed into me. And as a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, I've been mentored by the ladies, one of your favorite people, Floyd, Miss Barbara Thompson, and so many others like her. Since the time I was a young girl, I was a part of their debutante cotillion program back when I was 16 years old. Now that was, I don't mind telling my age, it was more than 30 years ago, but as a result of having such a positive interaction with the ladies, I went to college and I joined the sorority as soon as I could. And I'd always had a commitment to service. My mother raised me to have a commitment to service. From the time I was young, service was something that we always did in our house. Like my mom to this day, she's retired now, and she keeps a service project going. Like she belongs to the Order of Eastern Star, and they had a project going, which was pill bottles for Africa, like prescription pill bottles. And she would collect pill bottles from everybody in the district, and she would spend time. And it's so funny, I have this here. This LA's Totally Awesome. This is a great cleaning product. It gets all the goo and gunk off of things. And so she would put this stuff in a bath and wash these prescription bottles until she got all of the glue off, and would wash and dry them and mail them. So my mom's house was like a pharmaceutical factory for a long time. Well, after the project was over, she still just continued to do it and collect them. So I would say that service is a part of my DNA. And I think that Dr. King says that service is the rent that we pay for our space here on the earth. So I feel like it's the least that we can do. And right now, Alpha Kappa Alpha, we're doing all of our programs virtually. And we work with a program called CAP, College Admissions Process, working on students and teaching them how they can go through the college admissions process and what their options are for life after high school, career in vocational programs. But we always encourage kids to go to college if they're interested and if they're able, and help to enable them to do that through scholarships.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Thank you. You can see that, service is a part of your DNA. And, and we have two wonderful people here. And it's also a part of David, the Hope and Handball and all the other things that you've done over the years and are doing, and visiting the library. David, tell us why, the library, visiting the library is so important to you.
Floyd just teed that one up for me. So Floyd knows that the very first thing that we did when, I can't even tell you what month, maybe May, was after our first real shutdown, and when things slowly started opening up. I mean, restaurants were closed, barbershops were very, very still much closed. And the first thing that opened up that we were able to do publicly was the library. And it was day 3 of it. And I was emotional. And I went with my daughter and my niece. And we learned something important, which is the number of books that you can take out. I grew up with, you can take out up to 4 or 5 books, and reference books were this, and magazines were that, and DVDs were this. And our library system in Cumberland County, and probably in Dauphin County, the number of library of books that you can take out is as many as you can carry. And when I told that, exactly, that look, Tameka, her eyes were this big. She carried books that were well over her head, and we couldn't see her face really. And I let Floyd know. And so she did grab as many as she could carry, and then some, because we had to help her. So, so we going to the library is a very special thing. We have our own library here, as most people do, in terms of, I see Tameka's books behind her right now. And we have different sections: leadership, faith and culture, textbooks from all the college stuff that we do here. And then we've kept all of my daughter's books. We have a special section of local authors. So Floyd has a big section in there because we like to support local authors, and we always ask them to personalize our books. So
thank you.
Those books, and then we share them here internally and with friends and family as well. But it's a special thing because I just grew up always wanting to read to my daughter and waiting for the time that she's in high school now, but when she started reading to me, and we get silly with Mad Libs. We were at a diner yesterday, and you have that placemat in front of you with all of those real corny ads that are there, right? We were doing commercials. Close your eye, do this, and now commercial of what you see. So now you're that real estate person. We were selling tombstones to each other yesterday. Just reading, thinking creatively, using
Having
your
fun
words.
with words. Yeah.
We would give an adjective and say, use this adjective in that sentence, and be like, how do I use this? So words are important to us.
Nice. Beautiful. Well, thank you both again, and look forward to having you both on again. It's been a complete joy having you here, sharing stories and words of wisdom. Thank you so much, and everyone, we want you to have a fantastic day. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Make sure you visit your local library, wherever it is around the country and the world, and pick out a book or a few of them. Reading 365 every single day at 11 o'clock. Thank you so much, Tameka and David, and have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Floyd. You too.
Thanks, Floyd. Hey, Tameka.
All right.
Take care, Dave.
You too.